Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Jilly's Nails. We are on day 21 of 31 days of Halloween nails. This is Halloween. I probably shouldn't do that. I'll get a copyright strike or something. Anyway, today we are going to do another Happily Never After design. We are going to use the Snow White plate that I showed you in the last video. So here it is. Let's take a look at it. We've got Snow White in her coffin. We have the wicked stepmother in her little costume handing out poisoned apples. We have the cracked mirror, the little poem about her lips being red as blood, hair as black as night, blah, blah, blah. It also has the chest that has her heart in it and a crown, and the queen that looks all skeletonized in this creepy forest. It's a really cool plate. But today we are going to do the witch handing out the apple and Snow White in her coffin. And she looks sick in there. It's really bad. She almost looks zombified. Like she's not quite a skeleton, but not quite fleshy. She's kind of droopy skinned and just gross and nasty, and I love it. So we're going to go through, clean off the excess on the stamp from the witch, and let that start drying because, again, this is a reverse stamping tutorial. As much as I love Maniology plates, a lot of their stuff tends to lean towards reverse stamping. So keep that in mind if you're not very versed in it or if you need a lot of practice at it. These stamping plates are actually really good to get to practice it. These are truly some of the teeny tiny smallest designs I've ever seen. Also, you see me scraping a lot more than normal on this plate. My stamping polish got really thick and I might have overdone it just a little bit with a nail polish thinner. So I did have some problems with that first pickup and decided to go ahead and try it again. I also wanted to move it a little bit to try to make sure the design would fit on my nails. So I kind of adjusted it to get the parts of her body and her head and that kind of stuff I wanted to show on my nail in there. I've had some breaks this week, so my nails are a little bit shorter than usual, but I did get a clear pickup on the second try. I just had to go through and take off some of the coffin that showed up around her. And I'm not really sure why my lens is not showing some of this smaller stuff. I may switch out my lens tonight and try something different and see if we can get a little closer view for you because it's frustrating for me too. You should be able to see that a lot clearer. I mean, I know you can see it and it is a tiny, tiny print and very detailed. So it may not be the lens, it might just be the way it's set up. But we're going to go through it and I'm dotting some red through the headband and her hair and on the inside folds of her puffy sleeves. I just looked up an image for Snow White online and kind of went more by the Disney style of her clothing. I grabbed some white stamping polish because it's very opaque since we're doing reverse stamping. And then I thought, I'm going to try coconut again because it's my new favorite. And yeah, I'm glad I did. Coconut, for some reason, is the perfect color for like a bone white shade and for a skin tone. So I don't know. It's really weird. I don't understand how. I mean, real bones, unless they lay out in the sun, they're not bleached anyway. I watch too many documentaries. So that's how I learned that. So, they're usually a little off-white anyway when bones are freshly exposed. The sun is what bleaches them out to that pure white. So I kind of like the coconut for it, but oddly, the coconut looks good for skin tone too, so I'm not sure I get that. Went in with another yellow stamping polish to dot in some of the centers of some little flowers that were on there. And they were incredibly tiny though, and it was very difficult, so they're a little messy, but I still think it's cute. And because I do not own a gray stamping polish, in fact, it seems like gray polishes are the hardest to find. Yes, I know there's some out there. Yes, I know there's some out there in different tones. But especially with stamping polishes, I don't know what the deal is. I just don't really see them, can't find them. I've had a couple people give me some recommendations, so I might try that. But on the short term, if you mix acrylic, black, and white paint together, you will get gray, and that gray can very much be used on a stamping plate or to do reverse fill-ins. Now here I'm just going in with that pure white color and doing her collar. She kind of has an Elizabethan collar on in this. And while the gray is still wet, I'm gonna go in and do the witch's cloak. You can't see her hair or anything in this. She's literally just in a cloak with her face and the apple. So that one's actually pretty easy to do. It is very small and very detailed like the other one, but it's much easier. It takes a lot less color to fill her in. And the reason I went with gray for Snow White's hair, believe it or not, is because the stamp was already in black. So my hope was that the dark gray would be kind of more like highlights in there. But it does still just kind of look great. I like it though. I think it helps with the whole overall happily never after design. And right through here, I'm going through and tapping some yellow onto a crown that she's wearing. It's really weird on that stamp how the crown looks. I'm not sure I like that part. And then we're going to just take some blue and kind of fill in the rest of her dress. And since that red is already dry, you can just go ahead and cover up all of the red with the blue as well. That way you make sure you don't miss any sections. And if you notice, I keep kind of picking the stamp up and filling it in and picking it back up and filling it in. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm flipping it over to see if there's any gaps in the lines. It can be kind of hard to tell when you're painting the reverse side of things. Think of, painting on the back side of a coloring book page. You can't really see everything through it. So you kind of have to, am I doing it right? And if not, you have to go back and tap and fill in. No big deal. So we're going to let those dry, and I'm actually putting them into my nail dryer. A lot of people have, go back and forth on nail dryers, whether they make polish bubbles. Some people says it does, some people say it doesn't. Honest truth for me, I've had perfect manicures with a nail dryer, and I've had some where it made it bubble. So I think it just depends on the polish you use, and whether you have the dryer set on hot, cold, blah, blah, blah. These did not bubble at all when I stuck them in the dryer to go ahead and dry. I think maybe because it didn't have a top coat on it yet, so they went in pretty easily. I wanted to show you too how I clean this brush. I use acetone on it, and then to dry it, I take it and drag it across a paper towel and spin it while I dry it, and that helps keep that point very sharp and tidy. And then when you're finished with it, you put the cap back on it and store it face down so that acetone does not run back into the handle and make your bristles fall out. So you want the bristles to be point down inside the cap. I went through here now after all that other painting and prep work is done. Put on a peel off base coat so we could go ahead and get that ready for color. And then once the color's on, we're gonna stamp. I learned a new trick today I have never seen for stamping. I thought I'd throw it out there. I haven't personally tried it yet, but I intend to. It's to use foil glue. It would have been great on this manicure for me to know that tip. But if you have a stamp that dries on the stamping pad, the stamping, the stamp, if you have something that you're picking up and it's dried and it's dried so much that it won't transfer off onto your nail, you can put foil glue down, let it dry all the way, just a super thin layer, and your stamp will stick to the foil glue. I wish I had known that before today. That's an awesome trick. I was very impressed. Can't remember who I learned it from. I saw it in a manicure online. If I can remember who it was, I'll link it below. It was somebody who just recently followed me. So if you go through and you can see my subscribers, you should be able to find it. I want to say it was Sunny Polish, Sunni Polish. It was a manicure for leaves, like fall leaves. Anyway, I digress. It was a good trick. It was awesome, and I wish I had written down who it was. This color, by the way, is called Emmy Lou Blue from Sinful Colors. If you can find it, and let me tell you, it was not fun trying to find this polish. I think I went to 15 different Walgreens at the time to find it, and finally found it about 45 minutes away from my house. I bought every bottle they had, and I'm hoarding them. So if you can find it anywhere, it is a beautiful glittery blue that has some purple glitter in it as well. Oh, it's pretty. It's almost a jelly consistency, but it dries completely opaque. It's gorgeous. Now, I tried to stamp these on directly and they were not having it. So I went ahead and put a clear coat of polish over the top of them and turn them into decals. So I could just pull it off and go ahead and put it back on the nail. That one kept trying to curl up on me, so I used the stamper to hold it down and kind of flatten it back out until I had time to trim that one. And unfortunately, guys and gals, I'm not able to do these on camera. They were just being jerks and very difficult, so I did have to do them on camera. And as you'll also see, my index finger has a design on it. I tried to do the cracked mirror, and I put it on off center. It was just a mess. So I took it off and just left it plain. But these Snow White nails came out so great. I love these Happily Never After plates. They're so fun and so different. They'd even be fun for Valentine's Day. So you can, the whole set's not available, but you can get some of the individuals on the Maniology website. You can still use code JILLY10 to get 10% off, so go check them out. And if you liked this video, click on my face in the upper left-hand corner. You can click the upper right-hand corner if you want to see more of my videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.